Hi there. This is a morning Kundalini practice. We're going to get started with the Adi mantra, the opening mantra. If you know it, you can join along. If you don't know it, feel free to just sit and listen. So we're going to bring the hands together, rub the hands together, create some warmth, some friction, just waking everything up, waking up all of the energy channels in the palms and in the fingers. And then we'll bring the hands together at heart center and put a little pressure between the palms, plug the thumbs into the center of the chest. Little pressure there. Arms should feel active, but not tense. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a long exhale. Another deep breath in. And exhale. And then we'll inhale to tune in. Om NAMO Guru Dev NAMO Om NAMO Guru Dev NAMO Om NAMO Guru Dev NAMO. Relax your arms, bring your hands to your knees. I always like to think about sort of taking a little pranic shower after chanting, just observing the after effects. We're going to start with some very slow spinal flexes. So on an inhale, draw your heart forward. So thinking about just that space in the center of the chest, pulling it forward. And then as you exhale, you're going to round back and sort of open a little space between the shoulder blades behind you. You can hold on to your ankles as you do this. So inhaling, drawing the heart forward, and exhaling back. I always like to start slow, especially in the morning. The body might be stiff from sleeping all night. And we can take our time warming it up. If you want to start to speed it up, you can. So it's inhale forward, exhale back. The breath can be soft and subtle, or you might make it a little more forceful. It's totally up to you. It depends on what you need this morning. So if you feel like you've got a lot of nervous energy, I encourage you to move slowly and use a soft breath. But if you're feeling kind of lethargic and you feel like you need to raise your energy levels, then move a little faster and make the breath a little more forceful. Good. The next time the heart comes forward, pause, bring your hands to your knees, and start to circle the shoulders around the bowl of the pelvis. So sometimes this is called stirring the pot. Sometimes it's called Sufi grinds. So you can think about sort of a coffee grinder. I always like to sort of observe sensations, especially in the low back. I always feel like I'm stretching some muscles that need to be stretched. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. The next time you come forward, pause. And then reverse your circles. Go in the opposite direction. Noticing whether that feels any different. Now, feel free to make these movements as big or as small as you like. Again, I usually like to start small and then sort of experiment with making the movements bigger until I feel like my body is telling me that's enough. Good. The next time you come forward, pause. Deep inhale. And then make your way back to an upright position. Exhale fully. Take a moment just to sit and observe the after effects. So I always find that in between really interesting, just kind of tuning into the way the energy is affecting my body. So I usually feel some warmth in the low back. I can feel a little tingling in my hands and in my forearms. Let's just roll the shoulders a few times. So shoulders can be stiff in the morning. Maybe you pick your hands up and kind of make the movement come from your elbows. Let's go the opposite way. Rolling forward, loosening up the shoulders. Good. So just taking a moment, taking a pause, noticing how things feel. Good. Let's bring the hands to the tops of the shoulders. Fingers are in front, thumbs are in the back. We're going to do some twists. Before we begin to twist, I want you to think about kind of locking down the SI joint and the lower part of the spine. So maybe draw the muscles of the low belly in, lift the pelvic floor a little, and just kind of keep that area stable. So we're going to inhale and turn to the left, and then exhale and turn to the right. So again, you can start slow and start with smaller movements. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. If you'd like to use a mantra here, you can think Sat as you turn to the left and Nam as you turn to the right. Now, you can continue with small, slow movements. Or if you feel like you want to pick up the pace and play with the breath a little, making it a little more forceful, you're welcome to do that. So just moving energy up and down the spine through that central energy channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep inhale. Suspend the breath. Draw the low belly in. Lift the pelvic floor. Hold the breath in for as long as you're comfortable holding the breath in. And then a long, slow exhale. Relax the shoulders. Relax the arms. Let the arms rest for a moment. And again, Just sit in that pranic shower, observe the after effects. And then when you're ready, you can make your way into tabletop position. So coming on to the hands and knees. We've been sitting for a while, so you might want to stretch one leg out and then the other. Coming back into tabletop position. Start to move slowly through cat and cow. So inhaling as you drop the belly, lift and spread the collarbones, tilt the chin up. And then exhale, begin to round the spine, bring your chin towards your chest, press the mat away. Just moving nice and slow to start out. Inhaling as you arch. And exhaling as you round. And continue to move slowly. If you want to start to pick up the pace, feel free to do that. You might start to play with a more forceful breath. I'm going to start to speed it up. Feel free to join me or stay where you are. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to a neutral tabletop position. We're going to stay here for a moment. Move your shoulders back away from your ears, or you might think about sliding the shoulder blades down the back. And just kind of creating some space in the upper part of the chest. Just breathe here for a moment. And then come back to neutral. Tuck your toes under and exhale the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. If you'd like to move around a little, pedaling out the feet, swaying the hips side to side. Whatever feels good. Downward dog is one of those poses I feel like we should do every day. It offers so many benefits. If you're not comfortable hanging out in downward dog, you're always welcome to stay in tabletop or maybe even take a child's pose. And now let's step the feet a little bit wider apart. Bend your knees. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Take a moment just to hang here in a rag doll. So you can bend your knees as much as you like. Let's bring the hands to the back of the neck. Maybe interlace the fingers just under the occipital bone. Create a little traction in the cervical spine. Deep breaths here. And then go ahead and release the hands. Just let the arms hang. Come up enough so that the fingertips just kind of hover above the mat. We're going to start to do a little aura painting. So on an inhale, keep the knees bent, float the arms up. So the arms, the hands, the fingers stay soft. And then exhale slowly, folding back down, bending the knees, hinging at the hips, nice and soft. So this is a movement that's similar to moving from a standing forward fold to an extended mountain, but we're just slowing it down and making it much softer. You might think about your hands or your fingers as being paintbrushes. So painting into this energetic field around the body. And you can paint whatever you like. So it could be color or light. It could be symbols, words, anything you need to set yourself up for the best day possible. Inhaling, coming up, and exhaling down. Nice and slow, nice and soft. One more. Inhale all the way up. And exhale down. And again, you might just hang here for a moment, maybe move the hips a little side to side. And then let's place the hands on the mat. Turn the heels in and the toes out. I'm going to place about 45% of my weight into my hands. So we're going to do something a little more energizing now. On the exhale, we're going to bend the knees and come down into a squat. Now, if some restriction in your body doesn't allow that, feel free to just maybe place your hands on your knees. So wherever you feel comfortable here, we're going to inhale, straightening the legs, and exhale to bend. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you'll notice that my torso really doesn't change too much in relation to my mat. So it stays in about the same place. And it's just straightening and bending the legs. And if your legs don't straighten all the way, that's fine. 3, 2, 1. Let's stay here for a moment. So you can keep your hands down on the mat if you like, or you might bring your hands to heart center, maybe play with your balance a little. So my heels are up here. So if you feel like you need to put your heels down, you might step your feet out a little bit wider. Good. I'm going to bring my hands down. I'm going to bring my knees to the mat, and I'm going to take my feet to the side and take a seat on the mat. We're going to do a little energizing core work here. So if you are well versed in Kundalini and you love stretch pose, if you know what stretch pose is, you might know why I'm laughing. Feel free to do that instead, but I'm just going to offer a little modified version here. So I'm going to pick my feet up. I'm going to place my hands under my thighs, like right behind my knees. We're going to do a little breath of fire here. So I'm just going to lean back a little until I feel my abdominal muscles engage. Notice I've kind of lowered my shoulders. Don't scrunch the shoulders up toward the ears. And then I'm just going to take a forceful exhale, drawing the low belly in toward the spine. And then the inhale is passive. It just happens on its own. So I'm going to take a deep breath in and a long, slow exhale. I'm going to inhale halfway and then begin breath of fire. So there's a pumping action in my low belly. If you want something a little more challenging, you can try straightening the legs. Take a deep breath in. Suspend the breath. And then exhale out of your boat pose. So that pumping action, that breath of fire, that skull shining breath, connects our energy to all of these nadis that kind of originate in the navel center. And you might sit and observe the after effects of that, just sort of energy flowing out from the center up into the chest, out into the arms, down into the legs. So, one more energizing exercise here. We're going to use that breath of fire again, or skull shining breath to be more accurate. We're going to bring our hands up in front of us. And as we breathe, we're just going to press one hand forward, and then we're just going to switch. So it's... Now, you can go at your own pace. You don't have to go as fast as I do. You're welcome to go faster. Keep going. We're going to go for about another 30 seconds. Three, two, one. Pull the hands back. Inhale, suspend the breath. Draw the low belly in. Lift the pelvic floor. Feel all that energy flowing up through the central energy channel. And then exhale. Relax. Sit and observe. Lovely. Good. So our last asana here will be some variation of child's pose. I'm going to take my big toes together, knees apart. Bring the forehead down to the mat. If it doesn't come all the way down and you'd like to use a blanket or a block under the forehead, that's perfectly acceptable as well. And then for the arms, if you like arms outstretched, that's fine. But maybe just for fun, try bringing the palms together and letting them rest on the back of the head. Take a few deep breaths here, just some slow, steady breaths. Our last couple of asanas or exercises have sort of activated the sympathetic nervous system, and now we're going to try to switch back to parasympathetic. Slow, deep breaths here. You might feel the muscles on your back stretching as you inhale deeply. A sense of calm and relaxation on the long exhales. When you're ready, begin to lift your head. Bring your hands back towards your knees. We're going to end with a kriya that combines breath work and a mudra. So this one helps to balance the 5 elements within the body. So the 5 elements are fire, water, air, earth, and ether. And each of those is represented by one of our fingers. So we're going to bring the pads of the thumbs and the pads of the fingers together and apply a little bit of pressure. So you might see like those first digits flexing a little bit as you apply that pressure. And then the thumbs are going to point right at the heart center, and the forearms are kind of forming a straight line parallel to the floor. So take a moment, settle into the mudra, and then I'll explain the breath work. So we're going to take a deep inhale here through the nose, and then we're going to form an O shape with the mouth. And the exhale will come out in 8 forceful strokes. So it looks like this. Deep inhale again. So go ahead and join me if you haven't already. If you have, keep going at your own pace. Again, you don't have to match my pace. Keep going. Keep going if you can. If you need to take a little break, feel free to take a break. So here we're bringing these 5 elements back into balance. These 5 elements correspond with the first 5 chakras. And then by bringing the tips of the fingers of each hand together, we're sort of forming a connection between the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So creating some coherence and some balance in the body. Let's do 3 more. Take a deep inhale. Suspend the breath. And then when you feel you need to exhale, exhale slowly and gently, bring the arms down. Take a moment to sit and observe. How does your body feel? My spine feels just a little bit longer. I feel like I'm sitting up a little taller. Just bring the palms together at heart center. Again, rub the palms together. Good. Press the palms together, plug the thumbs into the chest. You can join me for one long Sat Nam if you like, or you can simply listen. Take a deep breath in. Sat Nam. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.